Quite the trouble you've got yourself into there, haven't you, Elrang? Welcome back to Crusader Kings III, Elder Kings II, with your good friend Elrang. There's almost like there's an echo in this channel or something. Today, before we begin, actually, I want to talk a little bit about what people are asking about, our character's motivation, our eventual goal, our kind of victory condition, so to speak, for the playthrough. And then we've got to try and figure out how we're not going to get immediately assassinated. So, look, I'm not going to go too much into Elder Scrolls Lore because people will start sharpening their axes if you even make the slightest mistake. They'll be writing letters to Michael Kirkbride before I even finish the sentence. So, to cut a very, very, very long story short, few thousand years, the Ayleids were in control of effectively what is now Cyrodiil, the Colovian Estates, all of this area. I'm sure there's a de jure map I'll pull up in a second, but they were in charge of that, cruel slave owners of humanity, and they were eventually overthrown by Saint Alessia and, what's his name? Morahouse, that's right. He was a man who was also a bull. It's very morally questionable, although probably there weren't any laws against it at the time. She also had help from Pelennor Whitestrake, who was a potentially mysterious futuristic cyborg sent back in time to collapse some people. Anyway, specifically the Ayleids. It's a long story. It doesn't really matter too much. The point is they were in charge, and then they were overthrown by the meddling of some tricksy and very suspicious things happening, and some gods too, which kind of explains why our people are not happy about a few of them. In this case, Kinnereth and Lorcan are going to be our big enemies. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because eventually, I suppose, we'll try and reform the religion, right? Build our own thing, try and tie it into the lore a little bit. You know what? Hang on, a couple of things then. So firstly, the title that we're eventually going to make is, how do I get this in CK3? There we are. We're going to try and eventually form this title here, Cyrodiil. Unify the Colovian Estates and the Nibban Bay and all the kind of heartlands there too, and turn it into Cyrodiil, which I think will be, that's obviously an enormous undertaking, going to be kind of massive, probably going to take a while, given that we're not even in the right province right now. So it's probably going to take a little while, and I'm sure there's probably a unique Ayleid equivalent of this title. As for the title history, I presume that if we go far enough back, yeah, there she is, the troublemaker herself. This is the person who overthrew humanity with her bull husband, looks surprisingly human there, Morahouse, the Breath of Kine, and Pelennor Whitestrake, the potentially futuristic cyborg man. Anyway, that's the backstory. That's why we're trying to bring back... I love playing the underdog in these, because it feels like you really do achieve something. If we were to just play a regular Colovian, there's already quite a few of those, right? But bringing back a culture, a religion, and a whole new empire, I like that a lot. I think there's also only something like 4 Ayleids out there on the map right now, so we've got to work out for us. Anyway, without going too much more into it, that's the goal. That's going to be the eventual thing. We'll try and reform the culture and the religion, because we do still have cultural aspects that eventually won't make any sense, right? Hidden cities, jungle dwellers. I don't want a hidden city. I want to take back the original Ayleid city of this place, the Imperial City, funnily enough. So that's going to be our long-term goal. And by long-term goal, I mean very, very long-term goal. I'm enjoying this a lot, though. I already think I can get into this much more than I got into base game CK2. CK3. And I got a lot out of that already, so this could be a lot. I was also looking around the map a little more, found some other weird stuff like, the Dremora. Grand Admiral Velek, you might remember him from the Skyrim quest under the, what's it called? The Midden, that's right. In the Midden, you find that kind of Daedric hand that you put the rings on, you summon this guy, you fight him, he's the Daedric captain. Anyway, that was kind of fun. I was just, look, like I said, I probably spent more time looking around the map than actually playing. So let's change things. Let's dive in. A lot of people were saying, as a court mage for, anybody, they can't make you expend mana, which in hindsight does make a lot of sense. Otherwise, you would probably never take the court mage position as a player, right? Because you're losing a big mechanic. So this guy has, once again, just to recap what happened yesterday, we were, of course, trying to work our way up the tree here. We're actually 4th in line to inheriting all of this anyway. So a couple of well-placed daggers, a couple of assassinations, we could be there without much of a struggle, given that we're quite a small county right now. Otherwise, we'll have to climb the ladder the old-fashioned way. We'll probably have to take out our neighbor, then some other internal vassals until we have enough power to try and overthrow him. One of our other fellow vassals tried to rebel. They had, with us and them combined, we had more troops than our liege. I trusted them to do it, and that was, of course, my biggest mistake ever, because they lost immediately. We got put in the prison. I fired a spell off at him in prison, gave him wounded, but he was basically immediately healed, by magic, presumably. Now he hates us. We hate him. We managed to escape from his prison, and really, it's a waiting game at this point, because we've got an assassination plot out against him. He's hated, because of course he's a human ruler of Bosmer lands, and is the liege of Ayleid's Bosmer and Khajiit as well. So this guy is not particularly liked. Lots of assassination attempt potential on this guy. I worry, though, that the opposite is also true, because we're a foreign culture ruling over these people as well. I would not be surprised at all to find out that he has a plot against us. The difference is, though, of course, he's much bigger than us, is probably much more hated, and we're on his council, so we have a back door to assassinate him. So hopefully we can climb up the ladder just with a few assassinations, because we're actually not terrible at it. I mean, 10 intrigue isn't great, but we can make it happen, right? With a little bit of magic, a little bit of well-placed tact here and there. Hello! Greetings, Arp and Elrang of Greenhill. It's my duty to inform you that irrefutable evidence that has been availed proving that your marriage with Arpena Locilia is consanguineous in nature. It means you're related. This information will stay between the two of us if you end this unholy union at once. What do you mean? How can that be? I've never met this woman before in my life. Basically, I think the reason this is happening, right, is our old art doesn't like us, doesn't approve us, and he's trying to exercise power. This is a political play. We're absolutely, of course, not related. But if we don't say yes, he is going to tell everybody that we are incestuous, which would be a real problem. We lose a level of devotion. So does our wife, and we gain the trait incestuous, which I imagine is slightly problematic, to say the least. What does that do? It says shunned by our legion, shunned by our faith, but not illegal. So it's a -15 to people of our religion and the Imperial cult too. We say, of course, we basically give in to this guy and let him divorce us, prove a little bit of power over us, or we tell him to piss off. 73% chance we prove that the claim is fake. 25% chance. You got a quarter chance of potentially ruining everything. I don't like that. 90% chance that we argue for the sanctity of our marriage. Ooh. We gain 100 piety as well. 9% chance of failure in that one. Obviously, it's rounded, right? Surely all this can be forgotten. Or we can just tell him to piss off, but he will gain a weak favor on us, which he could potentially use to call in plots or do other things. I think I've got to try it. 90% chance. Oh, God, is it worth the gamble? Ha! Okay. Whew, I successfully argue for the sanctity of our marriage. We're being attacked from our liege. We've got legal problems. We've got religious problems. Look, there's a lot to try and save today. How are we doing on the ritual front? Did I not disable them all? We did. We can get rid of prowess now because we've escaped from prison. Let's just start building up an enormous amount of magicka. We can either summon the troops with that. I wanted to try transmuting, actually, see if we can get some cash going. Alteration, transmute. We gain 50 gold in exchange for 60 magicka. Wow. Okay, that's actually really good. What would I do with it? Ooh. Ooh, if we cast a grand spell of transmute, we gain 250 gold. Oh my god. Greater, we actually do have the magical capacity for greater. So just basically sit and wait and then just cash out. Ooh, I'm not sure it's worth it though. Summon a familiar. What does that do? We get ourselves a scamp, giving us more magicka, more intrigue, more learning for 20 years. Oh, that could be a good long-term play, to be fair. What else have we got here? So we can do that. We can transmute. We can... resilience gives us a small health boost. Okay, or necromancy, of course. We can eventually raise dead if we become a necromancer. I think I'll summon the familiar. The extra arcana early on seems like that could be quite a good long-term investment. Let's take it. Give me that. We got ourselves a pet scamp. Very nice. It's just gonna run business for us behind the scenes. It is +1 intrigue, so it might actually help out with our plot in its own tiny little way. The woman in charge of cleaning the clothes of King Cicero's guards is brought to me. No one will notice her tampering with their clothes, and if something distracting for the guards could be planted, what would you have for me, my lord? Do we want to cut holes in his clothes so that people see his winky in exchange for 150 gold? He loses 150 prestige. Or we pay her 50 gold to grind up rose hips to effectively poison him. Honestly, I think let's just embarrass the guy, because we've only got 5 months with a 95% chance of success and a 95% chance of getting away with it if we do. So I think let's just... let's just embarrass him. That seems petty enough for our characters to go down. What have we got going on for us then? So we are wounded. We are vengeful, cynical, and ambitious. Right, okay. You have to bear that in mind. There have been some movements from cynical towards zealous as well. Speaking of which, we can actually choose a... Oh, right. So from the religious tab, we've actually got a patron screen. That's good to know. Mara, Auriel, Jeffrey, Magnus, Finaster, Cirobane, Trinimac, Xerxes, or Zen. Well, let's have a look at the effects then, shall we? Mara's Fertility, Piety, Dynasty. Auriel, Jeffrey, Magnus, Finaster, Cirobane, Trinimac, Xerxes, or Zen. That's interesting. I think Xerxes makes the most sense in context. Intrigue and learning is good for the character, and it just kind of makes sense. Or maybe Magnus, given that we are big fans of the Magna Gi. Just seems like that would make a lot of sense, actually. God of Magic, Sun God, Sorcerer King, known as the Architect of Mundus. I think that's a great idea. Learning +1, Arcana +2. Won't help out with our plots, won't help out with our murders. I think we can probably make that happen regardless, but this will help out with long-term magic plays, I hope. The Daedric alphabet. Ever so useful for arcane purposes, such as the creation of sigils. The study of the Daedric alphabet is vital to any aspiring conjurer. Possessing secret letters, alternate forms, clustering irregularities, and all sorts of oddities, it's considered by many scholars to be one of the most difficult languages to exist. And it is rightfully so. I'm having a great amount of trouble figuring out simple inscriptions, and I begin to wonder if I'll ever comprehend a single sentence. Perhaps we can send a letter to Kushishi Ashapaladon. She is a high Velothi Ashlander. We can try harder, gain the experience, but in exchange have a critical break, or to oblivion with these scribbles. I think they're already there. I think we'll send a letter to her and see if she'll teach us. -85 opinion of us, though, doesn't inspire much confidence, to be honest. To the worthless Elrang. Ah, that's good. I hear that you're dabbling in things you barely understand, and you've naturally run into the limits of what your mind can comprehend. Should you insist on pursuing your Daedric studies, I could be persuaded to serve you as a tutor, if you were to reimburse me for what is no doubt a prolonged and frustrating exchange of letters. 50 gold for a 50-50 of us becoming a good pupil. We potentially form a friendship with her, which could be a good long-term ally if she knows the secrets of conjuration, perhaps. 100 magic lifestyle experience and 15 opinion of us. Or we potentially become an enemy. Am I going to pay gold to piss this lady off? You're goddamn right I am. The lessons are pointless and devolve into angry letters. Good. What a waste. To the cocky Arpan Elrang. We've been burdened with your... Oh, God. Okay, we got a peasant uprising. We've been burdened with your oppressive laws for far too long. No more. We're done paying you taxes. Once your coffers dry up and your larders are empty, we wish you would treat us more fairly. Signed, Leader Gazalem of the Peasant Revolt. We've got a Bosmeri Peasant Revolt. Thank God we learned the language. Otherwise, we could have accidentally thrown this letter away. Right. Either we lose a massive amount of control and they get increased autonomy. Which means we basically lose total control. We'd have to get our marshal permanently... locking the place down. To be fair, I haven't assigned the council to do anything, so that might not be a terrible idea. Never. The peasants' lot is to serve their lord. Control will change by 25, but we will get an army proportional to our county levies. Oh my god, but this is our only county. I think we'll grant... We're going to grant the tax exceptions. We're going to take the control hit. The following faction that has targeted us has disbanded. We've disbanded the peasant rabble. That's good. And instead, we're going to focus all the council on the capital from now on. Why the hell not? My wife, we're going to have working on court intrigue. Managed domain might not hurt. +6 stewardship to help out with the control. I'm pretty sure that affects that, right? Patronage for a bit of learning. Let's go court intrigue for you. Stop me getting assassinated so fast. You are going to fabricate a claim on our neighbor. Why not? We might as well start building up just in case these murder plots go awry. Which is very possible they will. Domestic affairs for our chancellor specifically. Direct vassal opinion, tyranny loss. That's not really too important, is it? There's a lot of vassal effects. Or foreign affairs. Well, I think we'll stick with that one if that's all right. Steward. We can try and promote culture, but I believe it promotes the culture of... the steward, who is, I believe, Bosman, just judging by that. Yeah, okay. So we probably don't want to do that. We can increase development, or we can just keep going for the taxes. Honestly, stick with the taxes. You're going to increase control. Oh, that's good. Red is bad. Green is good, funnily enough. We are pretty much as red as it can be right now. So let's get you working on that instead. How long is that going to take? 2 2% per month. Ah, so the rest of my human life. That's good. 21 years. Oh, God. Well, it's better to start now than never, I suppose. And then our spy master, we've got disrupting schemes. You know what? I'm going to... it's not even worth swapping over to support schemes, though, is it? Because we're already doing well on that front. All right, let's roll with it then. Okay. Because we're on our Legion's Council as a steward, I actually didn't know this. We get +2 taxes per month. Really? Effects on us. Taxes are increased per month. We get 15% domain taxes. We also get stewardship lifestyle experience. Oh, that's very cool. I had no idea that was a mechanic. Oh, nice. I mean, probably because it's... I don't aim to play as someone's steward. Obviously, we're trying to be the best here. It's all right. I understand the court positions, clearly. I keep clicking that thing in this bloody tick box. What else we got to do? Hire a court position, hire a court mage. We did lose our mage, unfortunately. Is he still in prison? Can I ransom him back? Because that was the man who was supposed to go against Manny Marco. You might have just doomed us all. I don't know how to... what I should have done is pinned the original guy to the outliner. I do have the only other mod I've actually installed since starting this is the better outliner mod, because I really do like it. It's a bit more CK2 in nature, right? So we can pin people up there and keep an eye on them a little bit better. I wish I'd have kept that original guy on my list, because I don't remember his... Vanis Galarian, right? We could try and find him in a minute, I suppose. In the meantime, let's just fill that position with anybody, preferably. No valid characters found. All right. Well, preferably there's no one. In that case, we could hire a court physician. Oh, actually, she's pretty good. Very high learning. She's a knight, our antiquarian, and now you'll be our doctor. She's a powerful agent in hostile schemes against us. I might try and sway her, because we don't have a personal scheme going right now, do we? Let's win you over, then. You've started your sway scheme against Balan. We haven't done this before, so this should be something to see if they change anything, then, huh? Here we go. With the recent upset among the peasants of Overwatch, one of my agents has presented a unique suggestion for taking care of King Cicero, our rival, the man who imprisoned us and tortured us, threw us in the oubliette. With the right coin, with coin in the right pockets and agitators on every corner, we could stage an entire riot while the king is passing through the streets. 95% chance he is killed, and in addition, there is a 5% chance the scheme is discovered. It's very safe. I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity. Do it. Oh, how unfortunate. King Cicero is dead, beaten, trampled by his own subjects. The agitated peasants went wild, seeing their lead riding through the streets, and tore him and both of his, what? Tore both him? Ah. Helps to learn to read. Forget about Daedric. Let's start with English. Tore both him and several of his pellin from their mounts, beating them to death. I remember when I was imprisoned by King Cicero. Revenge at last. Many peasants were... excuse me. Siri popping up like, are you good? I remember that when I was imprisoned by King Cicero, revenge at last, many peasants were hanged, including my agitators, which means it cannot be traced back to me. Never underestimate the power of the mob. And I was about to say, surely we lose some stress for this. We've killed our rival, the man who imprisoned us and drove us a little bit mad. For outliving our rival, we also gain 150 prestige. We lose another 34 stress. Whoa. So we're probably back to nothing. You are no longer overwhelmed by stress. Oh, that was after the fact, I see. Excellent. Well, that couldn't have gone any better. So, what are we in line now to... Still fourth in line. Now, the reason for that is almost certainly because this guy has a child, or the person third in line had a child. Yep, two of them, in fact. I think we start... Is it just the easiest way to go about this? Because this was the original... This was the original county and the original playthrough I ever did on this channel originally. Now, I think I want it just for, both because it makes sense for the character, but also it makes sense for me. 66% chance, so we're much lower against King Larissus. However, if we go back to our council and flip over you to supporting schemes, how are we looking now then? King Larissus. It will be King Elrang by the time we're done today. 78%, 93%. Okay, so I would argue the more important... aspect of this scheme is, of course, going to be the secrecy, right? Start the scheme. Get this man gone. No one will ever suspect a thing. We could... Yeah. I think, here's what we do. I think we go to our rituals tab, and I think we swap one of these rituals out for Fortify Intrigue. +2 Intrigue. Probably should help bump this plot up even further. 78, 93. We're up to 80, 95. 95% secrecy is the highest he can get, so that's good. Only an 80% success chance. I presume because he has quite a high inherent intrigue there. He's also born under... Oh, I thought it was the Shadow, but no, it's the Lover. That's okay. Follower of Kinnereth also gives him some bonus intrigue. More of a reason to kill him, just historically. We can unpin King Cicero now. You are nothing. You're gone. Let's pin you as a murder suspect. Sorry, not murder... for us to be a murder suspect of, I probably should say. Well, how do we see what titles were in line 2? Because I'd like to find that again, and I've removed it from the well, okay, we can just click that anyway. So we go to the duchy, right, and then we can see it there. Gotcha. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pin everybody who is in the way of us being king. I think this is probably the easiest way to go about it, but simultaneously, like I said, we'll keep that fabricate claim going too. Oh, but that's against you now, bollocks. Okay, you know what? Who's third in line? We'll fabricate a claim on them, because that way we're not wasting... If we start fabricating a claim on the second, we kill them, they become in charge, then there's no point in fabricating the claim, right? So let's move you over to whoever is next in line. So how did we see it again? We go to the title itself. There we are. So go for you. You are right there. So we're going to fabricate claims on there instead. Yeah, fabricate claim on that one. 2 years. I think chances are we'll have assassinated him before the 2 years are up, but I think that's worth giving it a go to, right? We're losing a lot of money. Expenses to court positions. That's a lot of money I'm spending. You're putting me as your spy master, my friend. I will happily accept. I know we've had our differences, but you know what? I think we could be turning over a new leaf here. How about we go get some of that wine, eh? What a fool. He's also appointed as court mage. Oh, we are in there now. 95, 95. Let's just let him die. People are forming factions against him. He's already messing things up. Oh, here we go. Oh, feathers and lead. Before I can dedicate myself to learning more complex spells and rituals the Alteration School has to offer, it's crucial that I understand its axioms. Poring over lengthy and boring tomes can only do so much. However, still, I find it difficult to envision how the formulae and equations, the abstract forces of their predicted outcomes can be encountered in nature, let alone manipulated. Putting aside a book on kinetic forces, I decide that I might understand them if I can connect the two common alteration spells, Burden and Feather, and observe how these forces affect objects and in turn are affected by magicka. I can send for 2 research objects to be brought before me. We can go and cast Feather on lead. We can make lead light, or we make Feather heavy. The question is, how can steel be heavier than feathers? I think we will go for that one, because that one is the it's a gamble. We get 25 magic experience, but there's also a possibility of what is that, permanently increasing our arcana by 1. Ooh. I've got to try it, haven't I? 50% chance. Oh, and we hit it. We learn how to think outside the box. We've increased our arcana by 1, and we gain 50 magic lifestyle experience. So that increases our... Ooh, yeah, no, it does. It increases our magicka generation rate. There you go. So we're up to 270 total, and we're generating, again, a 100th of that. Larissus, one of my agents, has acquired a deadly spider and arranged for a servant to hide it in his bed before dark. All they need is the go-ahead, and he'll be as good as dead before the spider strikes. I hope you're not afraid of spiders, Larissus. Kill him. Kill him now. Oh, my God. Now, bear in mind, if we've got to kill 4 people, there's a 5% chance with each one. This could be dangerous over enough murder plots, right? King Larissus is dead by the lethal bite of a deadly spider. The spider struck not long after he retired to his chambers, and though the guards were called, no one could do a thing to save him. Thankfully, spiders do not talk. Let's get that on a shirt, so the attack could not be traced back to me. My little friend has done his work well. That's very strange, isn't it? I was made spy master, and then he died. I mean, to be fair, what on earth was the spy master supposed to do about that? We have impressed our own court physician, antiquarian, and knight. We've got to keep winning her over there. It's only 25 opinions, so I'll keep going with that one. Oh, I forgot you can sway your wife, can't you? You could try and make her your, that's right, your soulmate. Maybe something we should be doing after this one. It's always kind of the safest logical choice to do if you haven't got, like, another task, huh? So our new king is, Mavel of Orenthia. She is Green Pact Orenthi, so she's probably going to be slightly more beloved, you would presume, but let's have a look here. Nope, everybody hates her too. Or maybe it's just because we're such a good assassin, huh? start the scheme. You start a murder scheme against Queen Mavel. Wow. I feel a little bit too powerful. I feel like you're making this too easy for me, huh? So, I mean, we've got a very good spy master, which is, of course, helping a lot. We've got to try and figure out this money situation, because we're absolutely hemorrhaging cash. I think I might, like, if we sack some knights, that would do, because we're not going to get into combat anytime soon, in theory. How do I see my soldiers? So if we forbid, will that save us a little bit of money? I wonder. I don't believe it will, but we can always give it a go. 1.3 per month still. Oh, God. Something is very expensive, isn't it? How do I see my minor titles? Here we are. So, Court Mage is 0.1 gold per month. Court Physician. Antiquarian is 0.15. We don't need an Antiquarian because we don't have any artifacts. So, that is quite simply just a waste of money. Oh! 200 prestige. Oh, God. Okay, Court Tutor. It's also really good. I don't need you. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Doing this will cost you 200 of the following effects. I can't afford to pay you 50 gold. 0.5 gold a month. Might as well be 50 gold to us. To have you with an honorary title. I can't... Shit. What do we do? We could fortify stewardship. Hey, that's probably not a terrible idea. Look, we're achieving our goals of slowly becoming king. It's a shame we're going to be bankrupt by the time we get there. Fortify stewardship might just give us enough. Is there any other ritual we can do to give us some money? Probably not. We could transmute. I mean, it's a temporary fix. To the loathsome Elrang, it's become clear that your old arc is working to establish a false and spurious claim on the ward of Thormar. Do not think this kind of dishonorable action will go without a response. But there is a basis for a claim here. We'll lose 75 prestige. That's unfortunate. The stewardship should... if it's like CK2, it will tick up next month. Will give us a new monthly balance soon. Alright, you know what? This is clearly not working. Even though I had first believed that destruction was the most straightforward and practical of magic disciplines, I find myself stumped with some of the primers I've procured from the local Mages Guild. It's impressive that someone can write this much on the minute differences between various types of explosions and projectiles. Still, I ought to take this seriously, or else I will regret when a simple spell fails me due to some theoretical question I failed to address. For instance, there seems to be an important distinction between damage and drain as two categories of material deterioration caused through magicka. Can it be really difficult? Can it really be this difficult to cast fireballs and poison clouds? Both will kill my enemies, but I will read more about this. You read the book, though it does sound dense. 50 guaranteed magic lifestyle experience. I should learn the full spectrum of these effects. I've got to take the gamble. We've got to go for the stress, haven't we? You researched the full gamut of destruction's effects. 100 magic lifestyle experience. Sorcerer's Sophistication gives us 2 years of +1 martial, +1 learning. But for a critical break. Or we go back to casting Frostbite. We neglect our studies for 2 years. It gives -5% lifestyle experience, but we lose stress. Are we going to throw ourselves totally into magic? Or do we just want to go for the safer... do we want to go for the safer middle ground? I think that from a metagaming perspective, the level 1 breaks, from what I remember, weren't too bad, right? You might become a writer or a runner or something like that. From the perspective of the character, though, to worship Magnus, to have that ethereal touch, to be born in the sign of the mage, I feel like we've got to do it, right? It's going to critically break us. But let's do it. Overwhelmed by stress. All these murders to juggle and try and get away with, and all this studying to do. Unbelievable. But we did gain a perk. Expert alteration. Mass paralysis. I think we keep going down conjuration, right? So we can now banish hostile Daedra. The next rank is the one that allows us to summon Dremora. Maybe that's like a commander. Like a courtier. And then the next one is summon a Daedric army. Which if we do, maybe get caught doing 1 or 2 assassinations here and that. 1 or 2, or in this case 4 assassinations. Might give us a way out. Not endorsed. Yeah, you know what? I don't endorse him either, so that's reasonable. So, how much magicka have we got here? 99. I think we've got to cast a spell of transmute before we bankrupt the realm. On too many spurious titles. Oops. Well, I wanted to look at the higher ones, but that's okay. I mean, I'm sure it all scales out, right? So to do transmute again, petty, we need 60. I hope I didn't just mess that up by going like 60, 114. Okay, so it is slightly cheaper per rank to do it. So doing grand to get 250 is cheaper than doing 60 5 times. 60 cheaper, in fact. What a discount. So... I'm not really that bothered. I think it's fine. I think we'll just leave it how it is. I was going to say maybe we do still want to revoke those titles, but I think we roll with it. Magical Arts perk is available. I think I've just spent that, actually. I think I beat you to it. Notification. With the most recent upset among the peasants of Overwatch, one of my agents has presented a unique suggestion for taking care of the queen. A unique suggestion, you say? I've never heard this before in my life. I can't believe such a thing. Only a 69% chance, nice, of her being killed. Is that a gamble worth taking? 84% chance, though, that even if it fails, we get away with it. I think the odds are too much in our favor to say no to. A good old-fashioned mob rule. And when we come to inherit this province, my god, it is going to be chaos, isn't it? Kill her. Oh, we got her. We got away with it. Nice. She's dead, beat, and trampled by her own subjects, and of course the peasants, including my agitators, were hanged. Excellent. We've ended our scheme to murder her. Queen... Oh, she can no longer employ us as court mage. That's because she's dead. Unless we were a necromancer, I suppose. So who is our liege now? It's moved down to... Am I going mad? Or have I just broken the entire realm? Oh, no, there we are. You're this guy now, right? I have no idea. It's just occurred to me, like, looking at this. How am I supposed to infer who my liege is? I have no idea. I mean, I could click that button, sure. So where is your capital? Oh, well, that explains why I couldn't bloody see it. It's all the way down there. Am I still in line? I feel like I may have accidentally just made a slightly larger problem for myself. Or maybe by merging all these titles together, we may be just setting ourselves up for... Oh, no, we are not in line. Oh, dear. I may have just... We're probably still in line for a Renthia, right? No, we're not. We've just merged the titles. Oh, dear. Well... Never mind, I suppose. Life goes on. So how much land does she own personally? Oh, God, like a staggering amount. She'll give some away, and then we can start fabricating claims, I suppose. Because we can't take that one. That one's hers as well. This one is hers. Dawnmead is hers. Oh, my God. What have I done? What have you done? Okay, well, look, let's keep fabricating claims on this guy, because that's actually quite a sensible one to be going for. Then I guess we'll head down here. It might work. We'll see how it goes. I feel like we're probably going to have to... There you go. She did divide it all up. She did just dish it all out. Oh! We get a level of devotion. We are devoted to our faith. That's right. Very good. Does that do anything for us? I actually have no idea. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played this. So we could actually, now she's dished all the titles out, gang, she was probably way over her limit. Now we could just start grabbing up these and build our own duchy. Actually, we've made it easier for ourselves indirectly. She gave some land to a random lowborn person with 70 troops. Oh. Well, I can't just go ahead and attack, right? We don't have a Casus Belli. Not yet, we don't, but I may bring you back. Oh, it's only 7 months to finish the other one, though. Let it happen. Let it happen. Go on. What's 7 months between friends? For an elf, nothing. Just dropping the bucket. There you go. See it done. 84 gold. Oh, what do you mean 84 gold? All right. Forget about that then. Wow. So the money is a real problem for us. Just like totally broke. I'm sorry. We're going to have to... We can't fire the court tutor because of little Umaril. You're gone. We don't need an antiquarian. I'm sorry, you're gone. Oh, you're my prestige. Oh, my God. Even then, we can't even afford to live. Court tutor is so bloody expensive. Okay. Right, there's been a change of plan. I think we cancel the rituals. If we take our fortify, it ought to be 0.6 gold per month. If I turn our fortify stewardship, how are we looking? With the death of High King Logrolf, Skyrim was broken into 2 halves. Oh, look at her crown. That's amazing. Oh, it's Queen Freydis. Skyrim was broken into 2 halves. The new holds support the Western Pretender, while the old holds threw their support behind the daughter of the Liehast King. Why can't I say that? Last High King. Now, after years of uneasy peace and Cold War, the 2 claimants for the old throne of East Grimor met and marked the end of this conflict. High King Farengar and High Queen Freydis recognize each other as High King of Western and Eastern Skyrim, respectively. Whoa. There you go. Western Skyrim takes Solitude, Morthal, Markarth, and Whiterun and Falkreath. Eastern Skyrim, Windhelm, Winterhold, Riften, Dawnstar, Solstheim. Whoa. That's cool. What do we do about this situation? I've been corresponding with your Chancellor, Alaroth, and I have to say that you are a nice guy. Thank you, I appreciate that. What the hell am I supposed to do about this money situation? We're collecting taxes. God, it's just pathetic, isn't it? It's because of the low county control, but I don't really know what I can do to resolve that. I mean, I may have to bite the bullet and say that mage... we might have to put the magical studies on the back burner, go into Marshal, go down Overseer. If I remember correctly, that's the one that can boost up control growth. Maybe go for authority focus for a while. You hate to see it, but I feel like we haven't got a bloody choice. We can't even afford to run the realm, and we're just going to plunge ourselves more and more into debt. We have to expend all of our magicka to make that work. I just don't think it's a good idea. Hello. Lately, it feels I've been constantly distracted by lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. Oh, with all the hardships of everyday life, it's too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget their reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? Should we sequester ourselves to avoid temptation? We gain reclusive, which is an arcana benefit, to be fair. We can't afford to lose the stewardship. I'm sorry, it can't happen. Maybe Hermaeus Mora can... I'm getting all these lustful thoughts. Maybe I'll go to Hermaeus Mora to sort it out. That's got a lot of interesting connotations. Maybe not. I'll bite my lip and try and stay focused, or Hermaeus Mora... Oh, God. He really does love Hermaeus Mora. I mean, I get it. God of Knowledge might be quite appropriate for us, or Daedra of Knowledge might be a Demon of Knowledge, as they've called it there. I feel like that's a bizarre thing to do. Bite my lip, try and stay focused. Yeah. Stick with it. You're one of the last few Ayleids. You got to keep the culture going, okay? We got to keep it alive. This will be fine. Look, in no time, we'll get the taxes back up. We can still cast the alteration spell to get us some money. Everything's going to be okay. So a bit of a few misplaced assassinations today. The first two were fine, and then unfortunately it's again, it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially this being all divided is great because it means we've got a very clear, very, very easy path to getting a duchy. All we have to do is sit here, fabricate a claim, and wait as soon as we've solved the money problem. In fact, if I flip you over to manage domain, 0.5 a month. It's taken the edge off slightly. Oh, but our steward coming in clutch there with 80 additional taxes. Fine. So we get you fabricating a claim over here. We pick that one up. They've got no troops. We steamroll them. That's 2 counties. That should put a bigger dent in the taxes. Then we take you. That will put a bigger dent in the taxes. We consolidate. We maybe try and flip culture. Get good control of that. Get good taxes. Make ourselves a duke. And that is already a big upgrade. So, you know what? Maybe not too bad. I think tomorrow, not being too unrealistic here, I think tomorrow we might actually be able to get a duchy. I'm presuming we can solve the money problem. I'm all ears on that front. Open to suggestions. Thank you for joining me. Come back tomorrow.